Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Steph and I'm going to be talking about the makeup palettes that I will be using for the winter season. I have about 18 to 20 palettes that I'll just be focusing on to get as much use as possible, and those are the palettes that I'll be pulling from my Pan That palette, Eyeshadows. So we'll just get right into it. Most of these I feel are like out of my comfort zone. Winter I think is a lot of blues and grays and silvers and berries, and I'm not very good with those kind of shadows, so we'll see how we do. The first palette that I'm going to work on is the Mandalorian palette. There's not too much use on it yet, but I think it'll be good to get used to some of the silver shades in here. And then within that same vein, we're going to use the Star Wars Darth Vader palette. Still not a lot of use on that one as well, but we'll see what we can do. This is actually a Super Shock, I think, so we might be able to use that up a little bit more. And then a little bit lighter, we're going to use the Charm School palette, and it has some really nice grays and golds. Very neutral, but we'll use that one. From ColourPop again. Oh, this one's got she got a little cracked. Is the Feelin' Bubbly palette. I always think of New Year's with this one. So we do have a pan here in that one, but then that one has a big chunk out of it too. So I haven't been using a lot of neutrals this year, a lot of colored stuff, so I want to get into using neutrals with pop of color. And then this one is the ColourPop Hello Kitty and Friends palette, and it's more berries and pinks, so that will be fun to use. And this is again out of my comfort zone, but it'll be the ColourPop Broke palette. I think I've only used this like once or twice. Oh, looks like it's got a hard pan or something in there, but it's very dark. So maybe we'll use that as some eyeliner. I don't know, we could get pretty scary. Then you can't have a winter season without the Frozen 2 palette. Again, I haven't used this too much, but this brown color, or peachy brown color, has a bit of a dip in it, so we could use that up a little bit. I'm not really fond of the big chunky ones, but we'll see what we can do with that one. And then back again into the Star Wars series from ColourPop. I really like this palette. The silvers are amazing, super silvery, and so that one will be fun to use. And this one is the Plush Like Me palette. It has some she's reflective, but there's some neutrals and some gold, so that one will be good to use. I'm gonna bring in the Avatar palette from ColourPop, and we can use the blue and some red, and the golds are pretty good too. Then I have, for art's sake, the Ziggy palette. This one too reminds me of New Year's with the gold and the sparkly reds, so that'll be fun to use. I really like this palette from ColourPop. It's the Ticket to Dreamland palette, but I don't think it has a lot of payoff. Like, it looks bright, but the shimmers, I don't find I get a lot of payoff, but that gold is nice, and it's got the grays, and so that'll be, reminds me of New Year's too. It yeah, you'd think it would be more of a springy color, but the whole palette just reminds me of New Year's with just the cover there. And this one also reminds me of a New Year's party. It's the Roaring Hearts palette by ColourPop, and it is super neutral, but with the pop of gold and this peachy or rose gold, I guess, color. Then I just got the new Troublemaker palette. And again, this reminds me of the amethysts and silvers and the berry. So that will be good for winter. And then we've got the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. I really love this palette. It is so nice. The color story, I love it. I've been to Switzerland and this just reminds me of Switzerland. So I really like that. Excited to get some use out of that one. And then of course, can't have a winter season without old Rudolph. So we've got some nice greens and the berries, some neutrals. So that'll be exciting to use. And then ColourPop All Amethyst palette. So this definitely reminds me more of January, February. So I'll be using this palette, these groups of palettes from December to March. So that'll be, I haven't used this one a lot, so it'll be good to get some use out of that one. And then my last two palettes, I've got the Milani Gold. This is a pretty old palette. I haven't been keeping track of the uses on this one, but very nice for lots of golds, coppers, metal colors, which reminds me of New Year's and parties and stuff. And then lastly is on a Whimsy palette, and this one is also like the Ticket to Dreamland. I don't find you get a lot of payoff, so I'd like to try to figure out how to use this one. And then I believe most of these, except for possibly the Ziggy palette, I'm hoping that I'll be able to pop them out with the magnetic palettes and put them in a Z palette, create my own palette of these ones for my Pan That palette, which I should be updating soon. I'm got a little bit behind in filming because I just did a big 72-hour stretch, so a little behind, but I'm hoping to get caught up. But yeah, so I hope that you check back and see some of the looks that I create. We'll get some use on these palettes, and yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all back on my next video. Thanks again.